Jennings served nearly 9 years in prison after being convicted in the 2006 gunshot death of his wife, Lisa. But new evidence discovered in 2016 revealed Jennings didn't fire a gun the night his wife died. The case was originally deemed a suicide. Ultimately, a judge vacated the prison sentence, set Jennings free, and the state decided not.
It was early Christmas morning of 2006 in Buffalo, Missouri, when Brad Jennings found his wife, Lisa Jennings, dead from a gunshot wound to the head. This is from The Sun. Lisa and Brad have 3 kids, Lacey, who is from Lisa's previous marriage, Amanda, who was 16 at the time, and then Dallas, who was 11 at the time. The autopsy revealed gunpowder residue on Lisa's right hand, and police suspected suicide. But Lisa's sister, Shawn, told Dallas PD she believed it was a murder. So what actually happened? The story goes that Lisa stayed up late the night of Christmas Eve into the morning of Christmas Day around 1:30 a.m. Brad got up to ask her why she was still up to find her crying. Amanda said her parents were fighting, and she too says her mom was crying and upset. She believed her mom left and went to her room or something, so Amanda went to put gifts in her parents' stockings downstairs. Brad admitted they had argued and wanted her to go to bed so the kids could do that. NBC Dateline reported that Brad had bought her a $3,500 diamond ring, and he and the kids were trying to get it into her stocking. Lacey confronted her mom after Brad had left and gone to his detached workshop because she was angry at the two of them for arguing, especially during Christmas. Then Lacey left and went to her house. The Sun reports Brad and Lisa had been drinking that night, and the coroner said her blood alcohol level was 0.152. Though Brad found Lisa dead, he claimed he didn't hear a gunshot because he was in his detached workshop. Brad called 911 quickly and was crying frantically, telling them to hurry. Police also found a gun under Lisa's body, and the Cinemaholic says it was a .38 caliber. Lacey and Brad were tested for gunshot residue, but both were negative. And though it was ruled a suicide, and the Dallas County Sheriff, coroner, and prosecutors believed it to be suicide, Lisa's sister argued it was murder. Officer Dan Nash investigated and found 1 drop of blood on Lisa's hand and microscopic blood on Brad's robe, so he presumed that Brad killed her. This is what the prosecution would use to convict Brad, saying he killed her, changed his clothes, and washed his hands. They claim that Lisa got residue on her hand because of her proximity to Brad when he shot her. The AP reported that Dan Nash had no formal training in blood spatter. Nash testified he had investigated 300 deaths and used blood spatter analysis in at least half. Brad Jennings was convicted of murder in August 2009 and given 25 years. From the Cinemaholic, Brad admitted to changing clothes and washing up, but that he only got blood on him from cradling Lisa when he found her. Brad's sister Marcia fought relentlessly for Brad and hired a team who found no gunshot residue on his robe. Actually, private investigator Dwight McNeil initially found no report of GSR testing at all. And these are the reports that Nash said he never saw, but were clearly there because Lindsay Phoenix eventually received them. The judge overruled Brad's conviction. Attorney General Josh Hawley decided not to retry him. Brad filed a civil rights lawsuit against Nash, alleging he's not a blood spatter expert, but a jury in 2020 ruled Nash did not act in bad faith. Brad's appeal was denied in 2021, and further investigations were done to determine whether it was a homicide or suicide, but were inconclusive. According to Dwight McNeil, he sent crime scene photos to 2 independent blood spatter experts, and after they reviewed them, they concluded suicide. The Cinemaholic reported that Brad and Lisa married back in 1988. They had Amanda and Dallas together, but Lacey was from Lisa's previous marriage, and from all accounts, Brad was her dad. He had raised her since she was only like 2 years old, but I don't really know how involved the biological dad was or wasn't with Lacey. That doesn't matter too much though. Supposedly Lisa was having an affair with her boss and was planning to or wanted to leave Brad. NBC Dateline did report, and it may be relevant or not, that Lisa's father had committed suicide and Lisa had actually attempted suicide in high school. Since his release, Brad has been living back at the same property in Buffalo, Missouri, and is working the beef cattle farm, which this initially struck me as a little odd that he went back to the same property, but NBC Dateline reported that it is a 160-acre property that's been in his family since the 1850s, and he's still close with much of his family, so that makes a lot of sense to me. He was also able to reopen his car sales business, Jennings Auto Sales. The oldest daughter, Lacey, and Lisa's younger sister, Shawn, still believe he is guilty, but his daughter Amanda and his son Dallas believe in his innocence.